Yes. Well, hello,
There we go.
everyone. My name is K. Sean McCoy. I am the National Business Development Director and owner of Federal Employee Benefits Advocates. We're an educational company. We're based out of Shreveport, Louisiana. I've been working with federal employees now over the last 12 years, and over that period of time, I've probably delivered somewhere in excess of 1,000 federal employee briefings, and I've probably spoken to in excess of 30,000 federal employees. Joining us today is our moderator, Nick Woodward. He's our senior online strategist. Nick handles all the marketing activities for federal employee benefits advocates. So let's talk about federal employees. They're a large and untapped market. As Nick mentioned, there's about 2.7 million federal employees. So the question that you're probably asking is, are you looking for an undiscovered niche market with lots of opportunity? Well, if so, you're in the right place. The first thing we want to try to establish is, why should you work with federal employees? Well, first off, the federal workforce is aging. Nearly 39% of all federal employees are age 50 years or older, compared to just about 24% in the private sector. The average age, and as a matter of fact, is about 47 years of age, with about 16.3 years of service. And according to the Office of Personnel Management, 1 out of every 3 federal employees would be eligible to retire beginning in 2018. So that makes an unprecedented number of somewhere in the neighborhood of 776,000 people that would be eligible to retire. Now, federal employees are competitively paid, and that's one of the areas I find that there's a lot of misnomers, is that people think federal employees are lowly paid public servants, when in fact, they must compete with the private sector for employees, or as a result, would risk the loss of losing that recruit to the private sector. And then as far as the location of federal employees, about 85% of federal employees are located outside the Washington, D.C. area, with your top 10 states being California, Texas, Virginia, Maryland, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Illinois, and Ohio. Now, when it comes to federal employees, there are 7 areas where federal employees may need your assistance. Now, not every federal employee is going to qualify or need this assistance in these areas. The first is in the area of pension income alternative, or sometimes known as pension maximization. Both of the retirement systems in the federal government, the old system, the CSRS, and the new system, the FERS, which has been in effect since 1984, have a defined benefit plan. And as a result, they're going to need to make survivor options. So in some cases, what might be viable, if it's suitable and they qualify and they understand it, is to replace some of that survivor income with life insurance. So that would offer a protection and a permanent type of protection sale. Federal employees who have less than 10 years of service that are covered under FERS do not have a pension if they die. And that creates a risk management issue, because there would be no ongoing pension for the federal employee survivors. And if there's not a minor child in the household anchoring the family, they would lose the health insurance at the employee rate and would have to go on what's called TCC, temporary continuation of coverage. That sounds great, but it's 102%. So that's like COBRA for the private sector. So taking care of that risk management area would come in the form of some type of life insurance. In the area of accumulation, the Thrift Savings Plan is the largest defined contribution program in the world, with in excess of $5 trillion of assets under management. And that is a tremendous amount of money. And so it presents an opportunity while the individuals are accumulating the dollars, to make sure that they have their assets properly allocated, and that they, at the time of retirement, that they have the suitable distribution options. The voluntary contribution program is only available to the old retirement system, which is the CSRS and the CSRS offset. This is a program that allows an individual who has non-qualified funds to use the voluntary contribution plan as a conduit to move money from non-qualified funds into a Roth IRA, thereby avoiding the contribution limits that are normally in place for setting up a Roth, as well as the contribution limits associated with the amount that you can put in and the income limits. This is an idea of the information that the TSP has available. This is a little dated, but not more than about a year. So the statistics are pretty high. And you can see there's a tremendous amount of assets in the TSP ranging in various amounts that have accumulated. The three other areas for assistance that come into play are in the area of risk management. The first comes under the Federal Employee Group Life Insurance. It's the largest life insurance program in the world with over 4 million active and retired federal employees. And what happens is that when they're very young, the program is very affordable. But what happens is as they get older, it gets to be more and more expensive, so that by the time they reach their 50s, it's just very expensive, and oftentimes a private sector plan can take the place of that. So that would be a risk management issue that would be addressed by life insurance. Disability coverage is one of the areas where they don't have a true disability plan. They have a disability retirement. Now the challenge, and this is for the FERS employees, is it pays 60% for the first year, offset by 100% of Social Security, and a mere 40% the second year, all the way up to age 62, and it's taxable. So that represents a risk management issue that could be addressed with a standalone disability program, or perhaps a life insurance with some form of living benefit rider. The final risk management area that affects federal employees, and as it affects all individuals, is long-term care. 1 out of every 3 individuals is going to need long-term care in some form or fashion, and federal employees are no different. Now, they do have a group long-term care program through John Hancock, but it's very limited. And so this may present the chance to assist a federal employee in finding the right long-term care insurance program as a standalone, which may include their existing program through John Hancock, or it may be a life insurance policy with a living benefit rider. Now, at this point, there's probably 2 questions you'd be asking yourself. The first is, what's the best way to find new prospects and turn them into clients? And 2, how can I get the professional knowledge that I'll need to work with federal employees? Well, this is where federal employee benefit advocates comes into play. We provide training for financial advisors and federal employees. For a financial advisor training program, we call that FedEd. It's designed to help you, to give you the knowledge, tools, and support that you'll need to work with federal employees. And then we have educational programs available through Federal Employee Benefits Advocates seminars, FEBA seminars, to help you educate federal employees and to build a relationship with them. So let's start first with our FedEd Advisor Training Program. The FedEd Advisor Training Program is designed to give you the in-depth knowledge that you'll need to work with and assist federal employees. So we start the program with our pre-study guide, and generally this comes about 2 weeks prior to the actual training. This is designed like any pre-study guide would be to get you prepared for the class, very similar to what you may have encountered if you went to take a preparatory class for your securities or maybe for your insurance licenses, but it's going to give you a foundation so that when you do attend the class, it will give you the information as a basis to get started. Our classroom workbook has a copy of the slides that we'll go through in our presentation, along with some hands-on exercise to do what we call drill for skill, to help you understand the various concepts and things so that if need be, you can explain them to federal employees. You'll also find that this workbook will become a valuable resource for you as you continue to work and assist federal employees. One of the big differences in our program than anyone else in this space is that we teach you how to market to federal employees. Federal employees are a very interesting niche market, but we're going to teach you how to identify those opportunities on both a macro and micro level. We're going to teach you how to locate federal employees for the purposes of contacting them to do a benefits analysis to help them understand how their benefits work together. Either at their place of home or their place of work. And then we're going to provide you with some basic communication tools so that you can reach out and offer them the various programs that you have available to you or you want to offer, which could include contacting federal points of contact for the purposes of offering benefit briefings for them. We also have prospecting cards and other pieces. Some of the material comes as a result of attending the class. Some are available through our online store that you can purchase. For more details, we'll send that out after the program with a link to our online store. We also provide you with a software program from a company called Retire Ready Solutions based out of Dallas, Oregon. They have a specialized federal employee benefit calculator. We've also, in the past year, added the pension maximization illustration capability so that you would have the ability to help the federal employees understand and illustrate how pension max may or may not be a valuable benefit to them. In addition, we also provide you with a digital resource guide. These are about 85 different forms and sheets that you'll use in the course of working with federal employees. The idea behind this is to shorten your learning curve as far as the information that you'll need available when you are assisting federal employees. We also will give you an online exam after the class for you to test your knowledge. This is a 100-question exam. You must make a 75 in order to continue with the program, if you will, using the certificate. So this is the FedEd Advisor program. You will receive a framed certificate. This is not a designation per se. It is a certificate of completion that you'll be allowed to take after the completion of the FedEd class. We also will provide, if you're a certified financial planner, 12 hours of CFP credits. So this is a comprehensive training and educational and marketing program for the federal employees. We're going to give you 3 half days, 4.4 hours, 4.5 hours of virtual training. You'll get the pre-study guide that'll come prior to the class. You'll get the classroom workbook along with the marketing workbook, the digital resource guide, the online exam, and the Ready Retire, otherwise known as the track software. Now, the cost for this class is $1,850. Now, we do have a class that will be coming up in February. The dates are February 23rd, 24th, and 25th. The times currently are scheduled for 9 to 1:30 Eastern, 8 to 12:30 Central. Now, we may adjust those times based on the participants. If we have folks from the West Coast, then we will more than likely move those time frames back a couple of hours so that those folks are not signing on at 6 o'clock to join us. The registration for the class will end on February the 11th, and as I previously mentioned, the cost for the class is $1,850. So, Nick, I'm going to flip it back to you to see if anyone on the call might have a question about what we've covered thus far.
Wonderful, Sean. Thanks so much. If anybody has a question, please just go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll get you answered. Well, not seeing nothing, Sean, I think we should go ahead and finish up.
Okay, very good. There was a question that came in, but I think I'll be able to ask it here in the next section that has to do with our Federal Employee Benefit Advocate Seminars programs. Now, as I mentioned previously, these are designed to help you to educate and build a relationship with federal employees. Now, our current offering allows you to do virtual sessions. Now, we do have face-to-face sessions, and as the country starts to open back up to more face-to-face meetings, we'll make those available again. But currently, our most popular sessions are online. We have a 1 hour, a 2 hour, and a 4 hour session. They come complete with a handout. We can do some co-branding and private labeling on these. We do have the ability to work with your compliance department if you're subject to the oversight from compliance. We offer these for $1,250. These are licensing fees. You are not purchasing this, which means you have the use of it as many times as you want for a 12-month period from the time that we sign the agreement, and then you would renew those at $500. Now, we did have quite a few people say, Sean, I'm not so much interested in the longer sessions. Can you do something shorter, like a 1 hour? So what we've offered for this year, beginning in 2022, is a brand new 1 hour with a handout that can be co-branded for only $500 with a $250 renewal. Now, these are single license users, which means it's only for the one person in your office, yourself. If you have other people, we have to set you up on a site license. Now, these are comprehensive federal employee benefit training programs. They're strictly educational. There's no marketing or solicitation in any of these presentations. The handout guide accompanies the presentation that allows the participants to follow along and to take notes. These can be used and given out in advance of the webinar, or they can be offered afterwards as an incentive to sit down with you to go over their benefits information. We also will teach you how to create an evaluation form so that you can evaluate the impact of your seminar, along with providing a suitable place if someone wants to sit down and do what we call part 2 of the program, which is to meet with them individually and then to give them a benefits analysis. So those are our 2 programs, the Federal Employee Benefits Advocate Seminars and the FedEd Advisor Training Program. So Nick, let's go ahead and open it up and see if anyone has any questions about the FEBA seminar program.
Welcome. Anybody who has any questions, just go ahead and put it in the chat. And with that, we will finish up.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining us. As I mentioned, we do have a class coming up. This is a virtual class. It's February 23rd, 24th, and 25th. These are 3 4.5-hour sessions to take you through the FedEd training class. Currently, the times are scheduled from 9 to 1:30 Eastern. Those may be adjusted if we have folks on the West Coast by up to 2 hours increase. A registration will end on February 11th. That provides us with an adequate amount of time to ship out the materials to you. And then, of course, the cost of the class is $18.50. So if you do have questions about our benefits packages, we do have them 1, 2, 4 hours sessions with handouts, all 3 for $12.50, or you can do our 1 hour session for $500, and the renewal on that is $250. So these are comprehensive programs that we offer financial advisors. We give you the knowledge, tools, and support that you need to work out and help and assist federal employees. If you have more questions, you can check out our website at FEBadvocates.com. You can call me at 720-432-3331, or you can email me your questions or comments at Sean@FEBadvocates.com. Well, if we don't have any questions, and I haven't seen any come in on our chat, I want to thank Nick for hosting it. Nick, I'll turn it back over to you for final comments to close us out. Thanks, everyone.